The search for love is a universal and enduring quest. But some things do change. Instead of meeting in bars and clubs, more and more Tasmanians are finding love online. Fiona Breen spoke to some who've had success and others who have discovered pitfalls.
One day I was alone, and I come home and there's a message on the internet. Hey, I want to meet you. And now look, you know, like it's developed into what we've got, you know, it's something beautiful.
Jeff and Liliana Petty still can't believe their good fortune. Just over a year ago, living a world away from each other, they'd almost given up on new love. Now they're happily married after a whirlwind internet romance.
We'd had a date, and then Liliana did all the dressed up, and I'd get all dressed up, and then we'd put the music on, and she'd have a bottle of wine on one side, and I had a bottle of wine. Yeah. And it's incredible to a relationship that you can form over the internet.
Looking back at their wedding photos, the couple can't believe how quickly their lives changed.
You just follow your heart, you know, just follow your feelings.
Tasmanians are among many Australians logging in and searching for a soulmate. Australia's biggest online dating agency has increased its Tasmanian membership more than 400% in 5 years to over 37,000 people.
About 60% of the Tasmanian membership is over 35, so that's quite a significant group, obviously. It follows fairly much the natural population growth in terms of membership, and also we see similar numbers in their 30s, 40s and 50s than we do in other states of Australia.
A survey the agency commissioned, called Date of the Nation, interviewed 7,000 Australians. It found that 25% of all Tasmanians had used an online dating site. Another 33% were considering using one.
One of the questions we asked Tasmanians was, you know, what are the 3 factors that you find inhibit your ability to form a relationship? And number 1 reason was limited opportunities to meet singles. And the second reason that was they were finding it harder to get introduced by family and friends and colleagues as they got older and their social networks tended to change.
Sociologist Nicholas Hookway has studied loneliness and social media. He's not surprised that more Tasmanians are logging in to find love.
We use the internet to work, to play, to shop, and I think it makes sense that we might also use it to do love. And, you know, it makes sense in a world where we're potentially more isolated, and we've seen the collapse of community, and it's difficult to meet people.
He believes the internet offers people isolated by things like divorce, children or work the chance to become part of an instant community. Nick Chugg is one of the 55% of Tasmanian households hooked up to the net. The 39-year-old lives alone and is looking for love. The internet seemed to be an easy option.
It's easy. I mean, you know, it's very easy to approach people on the internet. It's fairly impersonal as such, and so you don't have a lot of the social pressures.
After 18 months on numerous sites and paying a number of joining fees along the way, he's had enough.
It's just been a little bit disappointing, just having to sift through all the, sort out who's real and who's not, and that becomes a little bit painful, and so you sort of get a bit despondent and dispirited every time you come across all these false or misrepresentations.
James Lloyd and Heidi Orman are about to mark the 5th anniversary since they first met on the net.
I first saw his profile picture. I thought, oh, might be interesting. And he had a really interesting picture when he was in Kathmandu, Nepal, sitting with 2 yogis. And I thought, oh, there's an interesting character, well-travelled. I bet he'd be interesting to talk to.
Like Nick Chugg, they'd also come across misrepresentation.
I was only on for about 3 months, and there was only one man who did not portray himself accurately, and he conveniently forgot to tell me he was married with 5 children.
Both now in their early 40s, they'd turned to the internet to reach out to a greater pool of prospective partners.
I was in the middle of my PhD program. I'm a bit of a nerd, a bit of a recluse. I'm not into the bar scene. It was not likely I was going to meet a special someone if I didn't try internet dating.
After only 3 months, they came across each other's profiles. The rest is history.
We're settled now. I've got a mortgage like, the rest of Australia has, and we've got a cat for a child. And, that's the future, and plus many other things, I suppose.
Life is good.
While it's not to everyone's taste, experts say internet dating is losing its stigma. And whether it's via the phone, the iPad or the desktop computer, it's here to stay.
Perhaps you might think of it like takeaway culture. It's quick, it's easy and it's convenient.